Are you ready?
Yeah, turn up the heat.
Are you ready?
Is he ready?
Oh, yeah, he's ready.
It's go time.
Ready to go beyond the scores and stats.
I love it.
Good.
Let's bring it in. It's showtime, right?
Welcome to High on Sports.
The whole deal's like some kind of crazy game.
Exclusively on MorningShowCentral.com.
Hello, and welcome to High on Sports. I'm Ralphie, and with me, as always,
Hey, Ashley.
And I am Von Erich.
and whether you're listening to the show tonight on one of the many glorious apps or at home on your computer, thank you for making High on Sports a part of your Monday night evening. Night evening is a little redundant. I could have probably left that part off, but I didn't. Monday Night Football tonight. We are going to try so hard to make Monday Night picks.
We can't guarantee we will.
We have yet
'cause
to do Monday Night Picks this season. Fun
Yep.
fact. It is now week 5.
We get distracted. 'cause-
Hey, and it's a tough one to pick tonight. You either have the undefeated Houston Texans or the just
Plain
car wreck that is
getting
the
worse every
New York
week.
Jets. I'll tell you what, Tebow's going to hijack this show already. The numbers across the board for the New York Jets right now are eerily similar to the Denver Broncos last year pre-Tebow. Both offenses have just put up 81 points. Both quarterbacks have completed around 45% of their passes. It's just staggering. Both teams have rushed total for nearly the exact same amount. I believe one's 237, one's 236. Everything is just staggeringly similar. But anyways, hopefully maybe, who knows, maybe there'll be a surprise. Maybe Tebow will be out there tonight.
For the love of God, do not get into this
Why
mess.
would you not just make it Tebow time already? Clearly, you're going nowhere.
Because as bad as Sanchez is, Tebow is that much worse.
Is he?
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes, he is.
I just don't know. Anyways, not what we're talking about right now. We're going to get into baseball here in a second, but real quick, I want to remind you guys you can call the show toll-free. 1-888-668-0742. Again, toll-free around the globe. Email your questions or comments to shows with an S at MorningShowCentral.com. Get into the chat room. It asks for a password. You do not need to put one. Just put a name, hit enter. You're immediately signed in talking to myself, Ashley, Von Erich, and whoever else may be in there tonight. And as always, get to the website, highnonsportsradioshow.com. Find the archive of all our past shows, my blog, a bunch of other fun stuff there. Again, highnonsportsradioshow.com. All right, let's get right into things here. It is round 1. Let's go. All right. Now, we're going to start baseball. We're going to get to the playoffs in just a second, but we're going to start with the Indians here because they made some serious headlines today. Terry Francona, 2-time World Series champion with the Boston Red Sox, has been officially announced today as the Cleveland Indians' 42nd manager in franchise history. A lot of history with the tribe. He said before, obviously it's after the fact, so who knows if it's really true, but he said it was either the Indians or no one. He wasn't looking at any other managerial opportunity. He knew he was either going to be the manager of the Indians or he was going to come back to ESPN. He actually reports coming out that Chris Antonetti, the day they fired Manny Acta, that night, he called Terry Francona. Apparently, he goes, well, he was part of the Indians staff in 2001, and evidently while there became very good friends with Mark Shapiro and a young, wee little Chris Antonetti at the time. So apparently it's good relationships with those two is what ultimately, caused him to join the Cleveland Indians as the manager. Von Erich, how excited are you about this?
I like the choice. The only bad part of this is that Sandy's not going to be back next year.
I know that's what
He's
that's
already
what
been offered a position with the team, but odds are there's a lot of spots for him to go. Boston is a spot. Then you got to take Boston into more consideration because they said they might be going after Toronto manager John Farrell. And if that's the case, does Sandy fit in Toronto?
Yeah.
What about Colorado Rockies? Jim Tracy just resigned yesterday.
It's true.
They need a new manager.
And it's something to think about is he was groomed kind of in that manager in waiting type unofficial position. Really, with the tribe, he was always kind of sitting there as the bench coach, but we always just kind of knew that he was supposed to be something more here. And now that you go out with a high-profile hire like this, you just can't. His role that he had on this team basically doesn't exist anymore. I mean, yeah, he could come back at his official role as bench coach again, but there's no potential to be the manager anytime soon, one would think. With a high-profile hire like this, a two-time World Series champion manager coming in to take the reins, you can't. The idea of grooming his replacement is not on anyone's mind in the front office right now. Right now, it is a long and lustrous run with Terry Francona. It's not, well, now we got this big-name guy, star guy to come in here. Now let's start thinking about who has the job after him. No, it doesn't really work like that. It's like, to liken it to college football, you've got, what is it, Mac Brown, longtime coach of Texas, still the coach there, old as dirt, probably going to be the coach till he dies. Will Muschamp was brought in there a couple years ago, sort of as the defensive coordinator of the team. But when he was brought in, it was basically established, this is our coach whenever Mac Brown chooses to retire. And this is going to be the guy. This is like the number 2. This is the next guy in line. So there's no coaching controversy or coaching search or whatever. As soon as Mac Brown's done, he steps in and fills the role. Well, Will Muschamp was sitting there for a couple of years, waiting and waiting and waiting. Then Florida offered him the job, so he just went there.
Well, yeah, because
why wouldn't you?
When you know you can be a head coach somewhere, you're not gonna sit around being
You're not going to sit around and
assistant
play that coach in waiting game.
when you're like, I don't know how long this could last forever. Look at freaking up until all that crap happened at Penn State. Paterno was there for like 60 freaking years.
Exactly.
I'm like, you're not going to sit around for 60 years and get the coach for 1 year, then at 85 and you die.
And that's just what happens. You come in for a year and then you die. You know, so the question is, does Sandy Alomar want to manage for a year and then die? Probably not. So, I mean, honestly, is Von Erich, do you think he's still on the Red Sox radar? They interviewed him last year. Do you think it's possible that we could see more or less a swap and Francona our manager and, Sandy Alomar over there as Boston's manager?
I think it's very possible. Like you said, they interviewed him last year, and just based on that, they probably will bring him in this year, at least for another interview.
Yeah. I don't know. It's going to be something to keep an eye on. We got a crazy, crazy offseason ahead of us. It's going to be a lot of fun stuff flying around. And who knows, maybe, hopefully a high-profile hire like this for the Tribe brings a little more interest to winter meetings as far as from free agents and stuff.
That's what I'm hoping for.
We were talking about maybe some former Boston Red Sox. Maybe not big names. Maybe a J.D. Drew. Maybe Jason Bay. Who knows? I don't even know what his situation over. I think he's still with the Mets. I mean, there's definitely some possibilities here. Francona was a guy that a lot of people liked, and it's very possible that he could be somewhat of a draw to bring some people in. And you got to think the Indians aren't going to be big spenders this offseason, as they generally aren't. But there's going to be some cap room open, as this is clearly the end of the artist formerly known as Fausto Carmona. Grady Sizemore will not be back. Travis Hafner was just the final year of his contract, didn't he? Wasn't it?
Yeah, he's
Yes,
gone.
there's a club option to pick up for quite a bit of cash. I think somewhere in between the 10 to 15 million mark, which the Indians will not pick up. They'll do the $2.75 million buyout.
Yeah.
And Hafner did say he'd be interested in coming back with a lesser amount.
Now, we're going to move on to a little bit of MLB playoffs here. But real quick before we do, Von Erich, you were there in the stands at what is probably his last at-bat as an Indian. I know you said it was a very special moment and everything. If you want to, share what that was like.
Well, I expected him and Chu as well, and Perez as well, to get big ovations coming out, because who knows what this offseason's going to bring. But especially with Hafner, it being the last year of the deal, his last plate appearance, everyone got on their feet, gave him a big standing ovation. He tipped his cap. I expected a lot of people to boo him, but no, it's not how the Cleveland fans were. They were pretty classy, and it was a real nice moment for Travis Hafner at Progressive Field.
Speaking of classy fans, bit of a tease. You're going to find out about some very, very unclassy fans in urinating off in the second half of the show, so you want to stick around for that, as well as our Monday Night Football picks. And I'm only re-mentioning them as hopes that it will jog our memory.
Just every 5 minutes. We need to
every 5 minutes, I'm just going to be like, Monday Night Football happens tonight. Monday Night Football, Monday Night Football. Let's talk baseball, though. We are in the middle of the it's the middle now because it's the second round of the 3 rounds now before the World Series. That's not complicated at all. We are in the Division Series, NLDSs and ALDSs. Of course, what did you think about the play-in games one, Eric? Obviously very controversial. The Atlanta-St. Louis one, some very questionable calls to say the least. But this is our first experience, our first time with these one-game wild card playoff games. Just excluding the fact that they botched that call and everything. What do you think as our very first attempt at this? What did you think of it?
This was what I was originally going to choose for what's urinating me off, because you hate to see a team like a St. Louis. Granted, they're the defending champions, but they barely squeaked into the playoffs. They were in it up until the very end. Some other teams could have had them knocked out, but they made it. And you don't want to see a team with 80-some wins, such as the Cardinals, go to a best-of-5 series as opposed to an Atlanta team that had 94 wins. You want the best of the best playing in the playoffs, and with just a one play-in game, you're not going to find out who the better team is.
It's true, and they something that's been brought up a lot, obviously not by MLB, but more the commentators and analyst side of it, is they say MLB wants a bit of March Madness in there, a bit of that NCAA basketball March Madness style. I think that's a bad thing. I think because I love March Madness, but I love March Madness for March Madness. I don't think everything should be like that. Football is already like that. Football in the NFL, it's one every game, obviously. There's no time for series because people would die. People would die a lot faster if you played a team 3 times in a row as opposed to just once a week. And that's one of the things about baseball is was it Buck Showalter from the Orioles had a perfect line in a post-game presser yesterday. He said there's no such thing as Cinderellas in baseball. He said with 162 games, there is way too many games and way too much time for anyone to just be riding that hot moment and to be that Cinderella came out of nowhere, that Butler going to the championship game in back-to-back years. There is there is no place for that in baseball because it takes the 2 best teams to rise up to the top. But with these play-in games, you open up the door for they got lucky. Just total luck. Now they're in the playoffs. As opposed to this other team who just, wound up with basically the wrong side of the coin and now they're going home. Not a fan.
Me either.
Not a fan. Now, have they talked at all, Von Erich, about next year? Was this a one-time this style? I know you were saying they were talking about some other different options, variations with the playoffs.
They're not exactly sure what they're going to be doing next year, but
that's great.
Right?
But you got to remember, they didn't even announce the second playoff team until basically the season had started.
That's true.
So this was a shock to everyone at the start of the season that there was going to be a second playoff team. Hopefully next year they can do a little tinkering around, especially already knowing the schedule. Maybe get it right. I mean, even if they do a best of 3, anything is better than just a play-in game.
Because playing the one game is exciting because it's basically like a game 7, but it just I don't, and it gets one extra team into the playoffs. But in baseball, you can't just do one game.
A game 7 is so special because it's the 7th game.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the fact that it's win or go home, but there's also the fact with game 7, it's the back and forth struggle, the head-to-head clash that brought you here.
And that's what that makes it exciting. And that's like if one game, baseball, you need more than one game because you need at least 3. And like if they want to do the first round best of 3, I'm okay with that. You don't want to do a best of 5, make it take longer, whatever. Do a best, but you at least have to do a best of 3.
Maybe we should let's just do basketball. Let's put more teams in the playoffs
right?
than not in the playoffs. Might as well.
That's ridiculous.
That's where they're
Teams
headed.
under 500 making the playoffs in the NBA. What the hell?
Oh, NBA.
There's like 6 rounds. The playoffs like last just as long as the regular season.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But I don't know. And see, next season is going to be even crazier for baseball because, like you've said, we don't know how the playoffs are going to look. We have no idea right now. And then the interleague play. I was just going through the Indians schedule today. They play the Phillies in the first month.
I forgot they were jacking
It's
up interleague
ridiculous
play.
now.
The hell is baseball doing?
I got to be honest, though, it's always been a pet peeve when I go to like a sports website, MLB.com, ESPN, something like that. And I go to the list of teams, and they've got them split up NL, AL, but then the list is uneven. It's just always been a pet peeve of mine. But, that's just, this list looks weird to me and it bothers me. But this is so much chaos just to change that.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of just jacking it up. You have a week here or 2 weeks here, and 2 weeks they're set for interleague play. What the hell are you doing?
I've heard, people a fan of it from the Astros' point of view is now we get to set up a great interstate rivalry between the Astros and the Rangers. No, you're setting up another crap rivalry, like a Browns-Steelers kind of thing. The Rangers are great and the Astros are bad, and that's what you're setting up. You're setting up a rivalry for Astro fans to be more sad and Rangers fans to be, happier again. That's all you're doing. I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the playoff teams right now. We have, like you said, Washington is you said this before the show started, but Washington beating up, or no, sorry, other way around. St. Louis beating up on Washington right now. Washington does lead the series 1-0, 1 game to none. But the Cardinals are currently winning 8-3 in the top of the 7th.
Good.
Whew.
Good. Maybe you'll want your number one pitcher back when your guy's giving up 8 runs a game.
So, I mean, suffice to say, it looks like barring a miracle, the Cardinals are going to walk away with this one, which is going to tie the series up, which is going to mean it's going to at least go to a game 4, which means this series will last until October 11th at the earliest. I love how they set this up. Not all the teams are playing every night, obviously, but they've set it up that all 4 of these series, if all 4 go to a game 5, all of their game 5s are Friday. They've set this up that we could possibly see 4 elimination games Friday. Now, we won't, because certain things it looks like the A's are dead in the water. It doesn't look like San Francisco can even touch Cincinnati right now.
I don't think anyone can touch Cincinnati.
But if
right
somehow
now.
these teams can wake up, how awesome would that be? 4 straight elimination games. That would be pretty exciting. And see, it'd be exciting because they earned an elimination game.
Yes.
They didn't just get one. Excuse me. But, of course, yes, like I said, San Francisco trails Cincinnati by 2 games. They are in action again tomorrow at 5:37 in the afternoon. And then, of course, we have Detroit, Oakland. Oakland. I don't even know what to say about Oakland. It seems like the end of Moneyball. If anyone saw the movie Moneyball, it's just extra depressing seeing the A's right now.
Yeah.
Because Moneyball starts out where the A's had a great season and then lose to, I think it's the Yankees. That's right. They lose to the Yankees at the start of the movie. Then the movie is really about the following season where he loses all his players and now he's got to start doing Moneyball, which is just a fancy term for, hey, we're broke. So we made some math problems for you to look at. And then they make do with the scraps they have. Then they have a great season, put up one of the best records in the league, get back to the playoffs, and are eliminated just like that again. And then you see this, and you're like, Moneyball's finally working. And then they get there, and they're out just like that. They've come up with a way to scientifically spend as little money as possible to get to the playoffs.
And get swept.
But they've yet to find a way to get further than that. Especially because you see in the movie that, and this really happened, is Brad Pitt playing, what's the Moneyball guy's name?
Billy Bean.
Billy Bean, thank you. You see him playing Billy Bean. At the very end of the movie, he's in Fenway Park and talking with the owner of the Red Sox, where he says, come be our GM, and we'll pay you. Well, they were going to make him the highest paid executive in I think all of sports, if not at least baseball. And he said no, because, I don't know, he likes losing or something. So he just goes back to Oakland. And then very shortly after that, Boston ends up winning the World Series, which is what Billy Bean's been trying to do his whole career. That's when they hired the I'm having trouble with names today. That's when they hired their GM, Theo Epstein. That's right when they hired Theo Epstein, who used a similar approach as Billy Bean, but with his actually winning. And then, then they go on to win 2 World Series right after that. And it's just like, Billy Bean, you should have just taken that job. Hindsight being 2020, I don't know. Oh, well. Then we have one other series going on. Oh, I forgot to mention, by the way, about that Detroit-Oakland. I mostly just spent the time bashing Oakland. They will meet up again tomorrow at 9:07 p.m. And then one last series in the division series is the Baltimore Orioles and the New York Yankees. New York leading Baltimore 1 game to none. They play in less than an hour from now, and they will be playing at 8:07 p.m. So you can have them on your TV, mute it while you're listening to everything in between with Von Erich immediately following the show.
And you just feel sorry for Baltimore.
Oh yeah.
You could tell last night the fans were into it. You know, you feel good for them. They made the playoffs, but then New York just took care of business.
I mean, this is the ultimate.
Not that I want to root for New York or anything, but they did what they do.
This is one of the most clear-cut matchups I've ever seen. Everything's always subjective, you know. Like I'm not a Detroit guy. Sorry, Detroit fans out there, because I'm in Cleveland and I'm from Cleveland and I've, raised to have a bias against Detroit. But obviously in Detroit, you hate my team and you're a Detroit fan and everything.
Exactly.
Right? But I've never seen a matchup this clear-cut as a definitive good guy versus a definitive bad guy. This is more clear-cut than like Star Wars or something. Like this is New York Yankees are the evil empire. That's all there's to it. And Baltimore has sucked for so long. They're the little guy. They're little like Luke Skywalker coming in there like, I'm going to beat you up. But then Luke Skywalker just gets his ass kicked. And it's just everyone feels bad. We all feel shame and it's just depressing. Poor little Orioles. You know what it is why they're so good lately? They went back to that cartoon bird. That's what did it. Cartoon bird logo. No one wants to see a photorealistic bird. Not in this day and age. Who wants to see cartoon birds? That's what we want. Look at the Indians. It's not a photorealistic Native American. That would be racist. It's a cartoon.
Right.
That's still, I don't know, kind of racist.
Could you imagine us going back to the old 1940 whatever logo?
Oh, that looks so much worse.
God,
Then
man,
we'd
we
see
have them damn protesters.
Stephen Colbert actually mentioned the Indians this week. I'll had the logo up on screen and everything. I'll post it on the Facebook here after the show. But brought up the Cleveland Indians, and they have the logo in the corner, and he's trying to duplicate the logo with his face. I'll put it up on the Facebook. That's facebook.com/HighOnSports. Throw that up after the show. But anyways, yeah. So the Yankees and Orioles will renew this series tonight with Andy Pettitte, the wily veteran, going against Chen, who I'm sure has a first name. Oh, it's a hard one. Wei Yin Chen. I'm gonna call him Willie. Willie Chen is taking on Andy Pettitte tonight. Also, there's some action going on right now. I think it's hard to tell, hard to get coverage of it. But the Cavaliers in action right now. They're losing against an Italian basketball team, 9-6 in the first. And that's it for our basketball talk today.
Where are they playing?
In Cleveland.
In Cleveland.
That's cute.
It's just
Playing some hoops.
First
maybe that
preseason
was
game.
the traffic I encountered.
It might be. They're playing, I guess, an Italian powerhouse is how I've heard them described, whose name is too complicated for me to say on the show. But anyways, back to the baseball going on right now. I just dusted off and was listening to a show of ours that aired on. I was just going back and listening to a show of ours that aired on March 26th, which you can go back and hear on HighOnSportsRadioshow.com. And I found our World Series predictions.
Oh boy.
Actually, from before the season started, how do I put this delicately? Well, not all of us, but most of us here did not do very well. I'm not going to reveal anything on air because I'm thinking either next week or maybe after the season, we're going to dig up these clips and we're going to show them to you. And we're going to sort of break down how wrong a lot of us were. But let's just put it this way. One of the person here, both of their teams in the World Series didn't make the playoffs. Another person at this table picked two teams. One didn't make the playoffs. One lost in the play-in game. And another person picked two teams, and their World Series loser didn't make the playoffs, but their World Series winner is still alive. So someone at this table picked a team that is still playing to go to and win the World Series. And we're not going to reveal.
I'm glad one of us knows what we're doing.
Do I even have to say who it was that made the pick, by the way? Or is it that obvious at this point? That it, like, who's going to be right? Anyways, it's Von Erich. But we'll get into those later. But right now, how do you see this shaping up, though, Von Erich? From what we have here, not based off previous predictions, from what we got here, San Francisco up 2, St. Louis, Washington about to be tied, Detroit over Oakland 2-0, and Baltimore, New York 1-0. Does anyone here in the winless column so far have a hope of coming back, or is this pretty much decided right now?
Well, you would think that the Cincinnati-San Francisco series is decided. They're going back to Cincinnati. They have the hot bats right now. As far as Oakland goes, maybe when they get back home, they might have a little bit of juice left in them, but it's hard to say. Being down 2 games, when it comes to these 5-game playoff series, the team that won Game 1 wins 70% of the time. So if you just go by that, I would say, out of the teams that have won Game 1 already, Cincinnati, Detroit, New York, or Washington, you could see any one of those teams winning it all.
I want to say something here. I got from the man upstairs, and by upstairs I mean across that way a little way. We for anyone, let's say Oakland fans, perhaps wishing to go to Detroit to catch possibly the deciding game tomorrow. Okay, the police union is warning, quote, visit Detroit at your own risk, as they're saying the DPOA, which stands for something, Detroit Police Officer Association, saying Detroit is America's most violent city. Its homicide rate is the highest in the country, and yet Detroit's police department is grossly understaffed. So, just a bit of a warning.
Crap.
Just a bit of a warning. The cops in Detroit are literally telling you, come here to die, or don't come at all. So,
Jesus.
there's that. And we also got breaking news today. This is from the college football world. Well, it's pretty much the legal world now. Jerry Sandusky. Jerry Sandusky will speak at his sentencing. We got this is Jerry Sandusky and at least some of his victims plan to address the judge at his sentencing, a proceeding that may last less than 2 hours. Lawyers after a closed-door meeting to iron out logistics ahead of Tuesday's hearing. So apparently Tuesday is the hearing, and Jerry Sandusky will be speaking at it. Wow, I really want to hear what he's gonna say. I mean, normally I don't care. Normally it's like when OJ was going through that stuff, what's he gonna say? Oh, it was my stuff. I didn't steal it, or I didn't kill nobody. But I really want to hear how Sandusky's gonna try to talk his way out of this one. But I don't know. That should be pretty open and shut. I'm here talking. Might get. Is the death penalty still on board? Is that?
I don't.
Is that
No,
true?
I don't
you
think
have
so.
that?
No.
Is that true? I heard a rumor. Now, I can be wrong about this because it's not a sports story, it's a legal story. So you can't fault me on this on the internet. But I heard a rumor that he could die. It's probably wrong, like you guys said. You probably
Come
can't
on.
get the death penalty
He's
for
not
this.
going to be in solitary for the rest of his life. He's going to end up in, what
Minimum security.
General public.
He's going to end up in the general
Rich
public
white
of
guy
prison, and someone's going to get to him because for as bad, whatever people do in prison, they don't take kindly to kitty molesters.
No, they don't.
They do not,
I say put him in a real prison.
right?
Some
It's going to be
big guy
maximum
named-
security, and some cop is going to, or some, not cop, their prison guard is going to make a wrong turn, miss solitary, he's going to end up in the cafeteria, and someone's going to shank him with a food tray.
He's going to get raped by some big-ass bunkmate named Jimbo. It is not going to be a fun time in prison for Mr. Sandusky.
They
That
don't.
is-
They don't play in.
that is
They
ins-
don't play.
Yeah,
in
I'd
prison,
rather
man.
him not die. I'm
Right?
convinced.
It'll be worth. Like
I'm
most of the
convinced now that
time,
there's no death penalty. in
I'm
this
perfectly
situation.
good with the death
I'm
penalty.
convinced I was wrong.
I'm like, you know what? You
But-
murder someone, you deserve to die. But the needle to the arm where you don't even feel nothing, that's too easy. They need to bring back the
Exactly.
chair.
Yeah, good old-fashioned hanging.
I'm
Right.
good with that too.
Stoning.
Firing
A
squad.
public
Stoned
hanging.
to death. Yeah.
Firing squad or the
There's
chair.
the good old days.
I'm a person.
When you used to take your son to see a hanging. Oh, America. What's happening to this country?
Everyone got all political and
I know.
sissy.
You suddenly can't kill someone in front of large groups anymore.
Oh my
Jeez,
God.
what are we, Canada?
That's inhumane. Well, I'm sorry. The 15 people that serial killer killed, that was a little inhumane too. But we're not allowed to kill him.
No, but I really want him to go to like a real
They need to
prison
put him
and just be there for a while.
to the general population
Exactly.
and let them have their fun.
We should drop like him off. Like, you know what we should do? From now, like, instead of like to save money on prisons and stuff, we should drop people in like the really dense areas of the jungle, where
Right.
there's like no hope of getting out.
Yeah, right. And they're
Yeah,
gonna eat
why
by
have we
a
never thought of
panther.
this? You just get pushed out of a helicopter into like the jungle, the
Yeah,
rainforest.
and you gotta run
right?
from the leopards and the panthers and
It's
the
so much
pythons.
easier on everybody.
Anaconda's gonna get you, buddy.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we're done with the legal talk because it scares and confuses me. So when we get back, you're going to find out what's urinating us off. We got the Associated Press rankings. Ohio State moving on up. And in the other rankings,
Moving
very
on
bad news for the Midwest. Let's just put it that way. 3 up, 3 down, maybe some football talk, all that much more. Listen to High on Sports, the MSC Radio Network.
User-friendly and ready to serve. MorningShowCentral.com. Are you tired of all the overhyped advertisements for energy drinks and energy supplements?
Maybe skydiving from a suborbital spacecraft or jumping a snowmobile over 80 buses is not in your agenda.
Maybe you just want to make it through the day effectively. Whether it's work, school, or raising a family, life's demands can be overwhelming. When you need that extra kick in the butt to help get you going, try Cocaine Energy. You'll not find a more effective energy supplement. Cocaine Energy has higher caffeine content per ounce than any other energy supplement on the market. And it's safe. Worried about the side effects of so much caffeine? We got you covered. Cocaine is scientifically formulated to mitigate against the side effects normally associated with large doses of caffeine, such as the jitters and heart palpitations. So what are you waiting for? Try cocaine today, because life doesn't wait. Cocaine is available at local retailers and online at www.drinkcocaine.com. That's drinkcocaine.com. Once again, that's drinkcocaine.com. This product does not contain the drug cocaine. Duh. This product is not intended to be an alternative to an illicit street drug. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Not recommended for children, pregnant women, or people sensitive to caffeine. Check out Uncensored Net Noise every Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here. Uncensored Net Noise on MorningShowCentral.com. Looking for reliable and affordable Shoutcast audio or video hosting? JWN Media offers complete Shoutcast hosting solutions for business or personal use. All plans come with full listener stats, custom web scripts for implementing your service into your existing website, full server control, super fast network, and huge bandwidth limits, a 99.5% uptime guarantee, and friendly, knowledgeable support personnel dedicated to making your hosting experience fun and easy. With plans starting at only $3 a month, you have no excuse not to get a server of your own. Plus, with the option to add auto DJ and on-demand services, you can be confident your station will be all it can be. Custom plans are also available at their website. Simply visit jwnmedia.com and click the Shoutcast hosting link to get started right now. Project X Show. Project X Show.
Driven by porn.
Every Tuesday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern. Right here on Morning Show Central Radio Network. Project X Show. Live on MorningShowCentral.com. If you live the lifestyle, then you should arrive in style. Lifestyle Limousine Service. Whether it's dinner for two, an evening at the winery, or a night out on the town, Lifestyle Limousine provides extraordinary service. Check them out on the web. LifestyleLimousineService.com. Reserve your ride now. 330-903-0508. 330-903-0508. Lifestyle Limousine Service. And make sure you tell them Morning Show Central Radio Network sent you. Peak 99 Technologies. Affordable and reliable web hosting done right. Jumping from one web host to another can be frustrating. Finding a good web host can be unnerving for even the most experienced of web designers. That's why Uncensored Net Noise has chosen P99 Technologies Technologies as its web hosting supplier. Established in 1999, Pete99 Technologies has evolved into a first-class web hosting provider. Its 99.9% uptime rivals many in the industry. That's why they offer their 30-day guarantee, no questions asked. For more information, go to Pete99.com. Pete99 Technologies will help you get started with your web presence with honest and expert customer service. Pete99 Technologies. Affordable and reliable web hosting done right. Having problems with your home computer or business PC? Looking to have some upgrade work completed on your computer? Have a special project in mind that may be too much for you to undertake alone? Time to call
Joe, the printer guy!
Joe the Printer Guy offers a full-service hardware and software repair center at his facility to handle your PC, server, and networking needs. Let their professional service staff handle your computer needs. They offer expert service at an affordable price. Visit Joe the Printer Guy at 14035 Madison Avenue, Lakewood, Ohio. Online, joetheprinterguy.com, or give him a call at 216-651-3880. Joe the Printer Guy. If you're looking for the best in musical equipment, recording gear, sound reinforcement, and more, Guitar Center has you covered. Guitar Center, located at 26635 Brook Park Road in North Olmsted, has the tools of your trade with the largest selection of music and sound gear in the area. They cater to your musical needs and have the knowledge to help you out. Guitar Center in North Olmsted. MorningshowCentral.com uses them. You should too. Need to know more? Go to GuitarCenter.com.
What is it? It was hot. It's everything in between with your host, Von Erich. Everything in between. Nothing gets me more excited. Monday nights, right here on MorningshowCentral.com.
You're listening to MSC Radio Network, and like anything else on the internet, it runs on computers. Lots of computers. And you know, when you're dealing with computers, hard drives sometimes crash. That happened here at MSC. And you know what saved them? Rectify backup software. Don't believe us? Well, ask yourself this question. Are you backed up? Probably not. So don't be that guy and wait till it's too late. MSC did their research and tried tons of different backup programs and chose Rectify backup software. You know, peace of mind is priceless, and Rectify can give you and your computer system that peace of mind. Find out more at rectify.com. That's RECTIPHY.com.
From the Cocaine Energy Supplement Studio,
You're listening to Morning Show Central Radio Network. User friendly and ready to serve. MorningShowCentral.com.
Hello, and welcome back to High on Sports. I'm Ralphie, and with me, as always,
Ashley.
And I am Von Erich.
best starting lineup in sports radio, period, exclamation mark, colon, parenthesis. So it makes like a winky face or a smiley face. I can never remember if it's colon or semicolon. Hashtag High on Sports. Remember, as always, you can get a hold of us on Twitter at @high_on_sports or hashtag High on Sports or both, whatever you're feeling. Get into the chat room and ask for a password. You do not need to put one. Put a name, hit enter. You're immediately signed in. Talking to myself, Ashley Von Erich, and whoever else may be in there tonight. Call the show toll free, 1-888-668-0742. Email your questions or comments to shows with an S at morningshowcentral.com. And as always, get to the website, highonsportsradioshow.com. Archive all our past shows, my blog, a bunch of other fun stuff. Again, highonsportsradioshow.com. All right, it's time for a jam-packed round two. So here it is. Round two. Whoa. Shaking it up.
Okay.
All right. We can work with that. All right, well, we're going to, in a little bit, we're going to have our Monday Night Football
threw
picks.
you off your game, didn't it?
It did. I don't know what's going on. I don't know where I am. Is this Asia? Whew, okay, that's better. Well, in a little bit, we're going to have our Monday Night Football picks, but first, it's time for a staple of High on Sports, and that is, of course, what's urinating us off. And we're going to start, as we always do, with Von Erich. Von Erich, what is urinating you off?
Well, this past week, a guy by the name of Adam Greenberg, we may have mentioned it once before on the show. I'm not sure. But he got his second chance at bat almost 10 years after getting hit in the back of the head with the first pitch that he ever saw in the major leagues.
Yep.
and there was a big campaign to one more at bat.
Wasn't it? Correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't a campaign by like a documentary filmmaker or something?
Yes, it was. They
Like
had
there's
made a film.
already planned to just make this a movie.
Yeah, there's a trailer for it. I'm not sure if the video itself has been released. I'm sure it'll include the footage that we're about to watch right now.
They'll make this into a fake Hollywood movie.
Yeah.
It'll be exactly like what happened, except he'll hit a home run and he'll get the girl. And that'll be about the only
Right?
difference.
Instead of swing and a miss, you're going to the dugout, buddy.
And back to the independent leagues for him.
Right?
And what urinates me off is that the Miami Marlins actually gave this guy a one-day contract and let him face a major league pitcher in a major league game. It doesn't matter that both the Mets and the Marlins were both definitely out of contention for any postseason, and these games meant basically nothing. You can't just pull some random guy, even if he does have minor league experience, and just throw him up there in a major league game. It's an insult to every player that has ever batted in a game. With the exception of that midget back in the 1920s.
And that was classic. That was good. Wasn't his number like a fraction or something?
Yes, it
ridiculous?
was.
Yeah, it was. That was good. That's just good fun. Like that pitcher that had one arm. Remember him?
Jim Abbott.
Yeah. He's a hero. Anyways.
There's also a one-armed outfielder back in the heyday, Pete Gray.
Remember that no-arm second baseman?
Yeah, because that worked out so well.
Is that no-arm Garcia Parra?
No, ma. Well, we got that. You actually have provided us with the at-bat itself.
Yes,
Share that with the people at home?
we'll apologize about the quality. This is someone filming their TV with their telephone,
Yeah,
I
and
believe.
it looks like hopefully it will play all the way through, but YouTube is being ridiculous. It looks like it's loaded half and stopped. So I don't know. We'll find out. This will either cut out or it'll play all the way through, and we'll find out together. So, by the way, when YouTube's not being crazy, search High on Sports, and you can find our show and most of our past shows on YouTube. Just search High on Sports, and do not be fooled by the imposters. We are the true red, white, and blue High on Sports, hashtag USA. All right, let's watch this at bat.
He had the unfortunate luck of facing R.A. Dickey in his only at-bat, his second at-bat, as they are calling
Look at that
it.
stupid
Wouldn't that be
fish.
something if he would have got pegged again?
Oh, man.
Oh, by a 60-mile-an-hour knuckleball.
Oh, yeah, that's true. No swing, strike one.
He was taking the whole way. He wanted to get a good look at that knuckleball.
See if he can figure it out. Here it comes. Pitch number 2 in the windup.
Swing and a miss.
Swing and a miss.
Oh,
All right.
you're down to
Took
the
a
count
big cut
two.
at it.
All right.
Big
All right.
count, big
All right. Here it comes. Here it comes.
There's a Marlins owner.
I'm sure
whatever his
R.A.
name
Dickey
is,
will just give him a softball.
the man who gave him the one-day contract.
All right. Here we go.
Hey.
1 day's worth of money on the line. Here it is.
Gadoosh. You're out, buddy.
What?
He swung and missed.
I think it would have
What's
been
the
funnier.
Hollywood
If,
ending?
it would have been funnier if he got pissed and threw his helmet down. Like if he reacted like a player in a slump.
Right?
It's like, son of a bitch.
Because that's pretty much what I would have been like,
Got into an
God damn
argument
it, I
with
had
the
one
home plate
day.
umpire.
That would be
One
great.
day and I struck out.
If he argued the
That's
first,
my life.
that first pitch was a little questionable. I'll say that. He should have argued with the home plate umpire. Are you kidding me? Can you even see out there? You want a 1 day contract too?
Yeah, high fives. I struck out. Woohoo.
all
High
right.
fives all
All
around.
right.
He is all
I
smiles.
swung and a miss.
He's cheesing in that dugout.
And now here's
Hardcore
and then
cheesy.
right after
Oh.
him is an actual baseball player. Look, yeah, let's
replay.
slow mo this. And
A
he's
little
not
under it,
very
buddy.
good.
That was kind of high. He went chasing
That was
and
pathetic.
he swung and
That's
missed.
like getting kicked in the knee by a first grader.
It's just
And you know, R.A. Dickey was not having it.
no.
There's no way he was
R.A.
gonna
Dickey's
serve him
like,
some
no.
meatball.
Yeah, R.A. Dickey's like no.
He's a
mean,
true veteran,
I-
a class guy.
I feel
Might get
for
a
the
Cy
guy
Young.
because he had made it to the pros, and the very first pitch you saw bopped him in the head and just
It's a bum deal.
almost killed him. And so, I mean, I feel for the guy, but you can't. I didn't really.
You're
agree
not
with this.
owed a major league
No.
experience because you're
Because in that
drafted or
case,
because you signed with someone.
Every single person who's ever been hurt in their career is owed a pro experience. Everybody.
Exactly. I'm a victim too. I would have played baseball in high school if I wasn't lazy
See?
and didn't
You're
want to do
owed.
other things.
If I wasn't a girl,
So I should get an experience at the major league level.
if I wasn't a girl, I would have gone pro.
Let's
If I
start the
wasn't
petition.
5 foot nothing,
Exactly.
I would have gone pro in basketball if I was taller.
Exactly.
I'm owed an experience too.
Right?
We all are.
We all are. Anyone who played anything in high school or any point, if you couldn't make it because you're not as good as everyone else, you're owed another experience.
Yeah, whether you got hurt or you just weren't as good, you're owed because
No, but I mean-
because you almost made it.
Well, weren't you a hockey announcer before, Ralphie, too?
Yeah, I've dabbled. Dabbled as a hockey play-by-play. I won't name names, but yeah. No, but I mean, it's just you are not in major league sports. You are not owed an opportunity. If you come in and you get hit in the head and you're injured severely, it sucks. But you got a bum deal, buddy. But sometimes
you pulled the short end of the stick, and all you can do is go back home and hate your life.
this is the greatest lesson I can bestow onto anyone, and it's not just with sports; it's with life. Guess what? Sometimes life sucks.
It does.
End of discussion. There you go.
Yeah.
Sometimes your life sucks. It doesn't mean you should get the opportunity to do this. You should get this opportunity if you fight for it and you strive for it and you earn a spot on your roster.
it takes hard work, but it takes obviously a little bit of luck because you can't. If you get hurt, you're screwed. But it takes a hell of a lot more hard work and just day after day working your way up. And then, God forbid, you don't get any injuries. And if you do, well, sorry, you got the short end of the stick.
Sorry.
Because, I mean, it's sports. Injuries happen. I mean, that's a crappy way to go. The very first pitch you see, you get dome-shotted. But it's sports. It happens. At least you didn't die.
Exactly. At least you're not
Because,
dead.
yeah, get shot in the dome.
Dome-shotted.
Get shot in
That
the
is
dome.
awesome.
Thank you, Bon Eric, for
You're very welcome.
getting all of us going. And now, Ashley, we'll go over to you. What's your name you off on this
all right.
Monday evening?
Well, so apparently Iowa doesn't believe in disciplining people who get arrested because their quarterback got arrested and
Corner.
two other what?
I thought you said quarter.
No, I said cornerback.
Oh.
Corner? Yeah,
Yeah,
I
you're
I
right.
said the whole thing instead of just
All
saying
right.
corner. I wanted to
Whatever.
specify so people understood.
It's just when you say it quick, it's hard.
I know,
not
it is
just-
kind
not
of
you,
yeah.
I mean the
when it's said quick, yeah.
collective you. Go on. Irrelevant. Go on.
Anyways, so yeah, they were arrested for public intoxication and disorderly conduct, and
Or as I call it,
running
Friday
away
night!
from right,
Woo!
and running away from the cops. And I mean, okay, I get it. You're a college student. You're all gonna act a fool, but you can't be running from the cops
Exactly.
and causing disorderly conduct and public intoxication. We've all been to college. We've all been walking our way home from the bars, but you gotta have somebody keep it under control, especially if you play in a football team. And no, apparently suck-ass Iowa, they're really doing well this year.
Suck-ass Iowa.
Well, they don't really want to do any worse, so
SAI.
they can't get rid of their starters, but Temple's got it right because Temple had a kid arrested this week too,
Does
and
Temple still play football?
I don't know. Well,
thought they
apparently
stopped.
because their defensive tackle got arrested for assault, so he's not playing. He's not even allowed to practice. They know how to do it. You get arrested, you get benched.
I think at the very least, yeah, if you're arrested a weekend, you should at the very least not play that day.
Yeah.
At the very least.
At least you have to miss one game. I mean,
Like, and in steps, blah, 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 fresh off his arrest this morning.
right? I mean, I
ready
get
to
it.
play some
The guy
ball.
from Temple, assault is a little worse than just public intoxication, disorderly conduct. But still, you can't be walking around the streets acting like a drunken fool, embarrassing your school, and not have any consequences.
It's another situation where it comes back to the same message. You're not owed this opportunity.
Yeah.
You're not promised to play football. You're allowed to play football. You're not given that opportunity. You are allowed to do it. It's not promised to you.
Yeah.
If you're gonna go out there and act stupid
You're gonna
and
lose
mess
your
things
privilege.
up, then you don't get to.
It's like the same idiot are like the freshman quarterback for Ohio State who's like so far down on the bench, doesn't play. You see where he tweeted, "Man, why do I gotta go to classes? I'm here to play football. I didn't
Right?
get brought in to go to play school.
Dude, you playing an offense with Braxton Miller. You weren't brought in to play football.
Right? You were brought in to sit and wait.
You were brought in to have a pulse because there has to be a backup.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Pretty much. And I'm like, really? I'm
That's
I'm pretty sure being a student athlete, as much as I hate school, and I would rather just, when I was in high school, I'd rather just play sports and not go to class. Well, you gotta go to class, but you don't freaking tweet it to the world. Why do I go to class? So I hope you don't make your little GPA that you're supposed to have, and you get kicked off the team.
Yeah. All right, thank you, Ashley. And now I'm gonna finish things off here with what's urinating me off are the bad eggs in the bunch that ruin the whole bushel. Are eggs bushels? I don't know. Ruin the whole carton of eggs. We are all the eggs. Fans are the eggs. Bad fans, unruly fans is what's urinating me off. And we start in Kansas City when fans apparently cheered at starting quarterback Matt Castle being injured. Now, I'm urinated off that you're cheering for this man being hurt to begin with, let alone the fact that you don't understand. You have no idea. Brady Quinn will start next week for the Chiefs. You have no idea, Kansas City.
Yeah.
They always say the backup's the most popular guy in town. Guess what? We had him. We had him as a starter.
He was a third string behind Tim Tebow.
You have no idea.
Yeah. We traded him to Denver. He became the third string behind Tebow. Tebow is the worst quarterback that's ever stepped on the field in the NFL. And Brady Quinn was behind him.
Hold on. Here are some people that teams in the past have decided are better options at quarterback than Brady Quinn. Here's just a short little list. Kyle Orton, Tim Tebow, Derek Anderson, Charlie Fry. Charlie Fry got to start because we would rather have him than Brady Quinn. Granted, it was one game and he was traded the next day, but still, Charlie Fry. Charlie is probably working at McDonald's, which is now it's funny that his last name's Fry. I don't even know how to break this down to you. Chiefs fans, if there's any Chiefs fans listening there out there in internet land,
you guys are not
Chiefs
smart.
fans, you don't know what you want. You just don't know. As Browns fans, we're some of the most fickle people on earth. We constantly boo the starter and want to. I know a lot of people who want Colt McCoy back in there just because he's the backup. But let me tell you, we've been there. We've been to Brady Quinn. It's not pretty.
Nope.
It's not.
Not pretty at all.
Now what are you going to do? You got Romeo Crennel's your head coach. Brady Quinn is your starting quarterback. You've got Peyton Hillis on the roster. You are nothing but Browns rejects. We've seen those players and coaches. They're not good. That's why they're not here anymore.
But you're getting to boo Matt Castle, who is playing behind Tom Brady. Yeah, you know what? He's off to a rough start, but he's still way better.
There was a response from that Eric Winston.
Yeah, I'm looking at that right now.
I got the audio if you want it.
All right, let's play some of it real quick.
When you cheer somebody getting knocked out, I don't care who it is, and it just so happened to be Matt Castle, it's sickening. It's 100% sickening. And I've never, ever, and I've been in some rough times on some rough teams, I've never been more embarrassed in my life to play football than in that moment right there. And I get emotional about it because these guys, they work their butts off. Matt Castle hasn't done anything to you people. Hasn't done anything to you people. Hasn't done anything to the media writers that kill him. Hasn't done anything wrong to the people that come out here and cheer him. Hey, if he's not the best quarterback, he's not the best quarterback, and that's okay.
Yeah, he goes on to say something too. We don't have to play it, but I'll just say it. We are not gladiators, and this is not the Roman Coliseum. This is a game. This is a game that's going to cost us a lot down the road. That's okay. We picked it. We deserve it. I don't want your pity, but we've got a lot of problems as a society if people think that's okay. I am not a fan of the cheering for the injuries.
No.
I mean, because, and then even from like a bragging standpoint afterwards, like I keep going back to this board. We're Browns fans here, and we lose to the Steelers on a regular basis. It is just like as natural as when leaves fall off the tree. The Browns lose to the Steelers. We accept it. But if we beat the Steelers with Roethlisberger hurt, and they throw in Charlie Batch or something, and we win. Yeah, we feel good. We won. Awesome. You go to a Steelers fan, hey, why'd your team suck last night? They're like, yeah, you wouldn't have beat us if Roethlisberger was in. And we'll defend it. We'll go back and forth. Oh, please, you would. But we know, no, we probably wouldn't have.
You know what? Roethlisberger's overrated anyway.
Well, aside from being incredibly talented and stuff, sure.
No, he's not. He's
pretty damn good.
He's just a big person because then you're not allowed to hit anybody in the NFL anymore. No one can tackle his ass.
Well, either way, not the point. The point is, I would. It's old fashioned, but I would rather beat your best than sneak out with a win because you've lost starters, and that's just me. I don't know. Anyways, we also go to the baseball world. I make this one quick because we've been talking about it a little bit. The pop-up heard round the world. Infield fly rule issued against the Atlanta Braves, against when they were playing the Cardinals in that one-game play-in. Braves fans were not happy, and they proceeded to throw garbage onto the field, immense amounts of bottles and cups and things. 19-minute delay where they had to stop the game to pick it all up. I mean, first of all, the game's not over yet. And you guys are out there making a mess and throwing your trash and stuff onto the field, and your team hasn't even lost a game yet. They would, of course, go on to lose the game. But, I mean, especially when you got a guy like Chipper Jones out there, he would want to go out with some class, and he would probably expect a little more class out of you guys. I mean, come on. Show some class, Atlanta. Come on. You guys have no reason to be upset. You might have arguably the best football team in the entire NFL right now.
Well,
you're fine. Your baseball season's over. Watch the Falcons.
Well, we can go back to that beer bottle incident at Brown Stadium. Remember that?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't pretty. We've had bad moments too. I'm not just out here to point the finger.
Yeah, my mom.
It's whenever
my
fans
stepdad were at that game. She almost got popped in the head with a bottle.
You do not throw trash on the field. Let me put it this way: you don't throw trash on the field when the game's still going on. If it's over, they have to clean the field anyways. Why not? If you're pissed, sure. But not when the game's still going on. No. Either way, we're running out of time here, so I'm going to go to the AP rankings real quick. Associated Press college football rankings. Number 25, Michigan. 24, Boise State. 23, Louisiana Tech. 22, Texas A&M. 21, Cincinnati. Here's the 20 to 11. Rutgers, Mississippi State, Louisville, Stanford, Clemson, Texas, Georgia, Oklahoma, Florida State, USC, Oregon. Now we're in the top 10. Oregon State, number 9, LSU. Number 8 in the country, the Ohio State University.
Yeah, buddy.
8th ranked team in the country. 7, Notre Dame. 6, Kansas State. 5, West Virginia. 4, Florida. 3, South Carolina. 2, still Oregon. 1, still Alabama. I would like to point out, though, that in the USA Today rankings, which Ohio State is not allowed to be a part of, so that's why they're unranked. If they were allowed, they would be top 10 in there as well. But because they're not allowed to be ranked there, no Big Ten schools are ranked in the USA Today coaches poll.
No one cares about that one anyway.
No teams ranked. But Associated Press, Ohio State's the number 8 school in the country.
Yes.
Again, can't do anything with it. And I've heard a lot of people complain is when Ohio State got the bowl ban issued, they did have a choice. They could have taken it last year because they got that penalty issued before the bowl games. They said you can be not play in this bowl game or you can be banned the following season. They chose the following season to make this year a rebuilding year. Looking back, yeah, I wish they would have picked to just not
bad choice.
Not necessarily. We look at it from a fan perspective, yeah, bad choice. But the other thing is the players that were on that team, especially like the seniors, they had earned a trip to a bowl game. And you would say, hey, everything you've done this year, even though you were just a 6-6 team, everything you've done this year, sorry, we're going to focus on next year. You know, those players already put in their time to earn a bowl game. They should have gotten a bowl game. That was fair. It's just unfortunate from a fan's perspective that we can't go anywhere this year. All right, we're getting to the end of the show here. It is 3 up, 3 down time. Down number 3, Robert Griffin III. Knocked out of the game with a concussion. Could not remember what quarter it was or what the score was. But they said they expect him to play next week. So we'll see. I worry about him the same way I worry about Mike Vick. Is they're fast and mobile as hell, so they're going to get hit. And Washington is going with a weird strategy where they just don't protect the quarterback. Which, interesting approach, but I don't know. I don't think it's going to work. Down number 2 are Cleveland Browns. Now the NFL's only winless team. It's going to be a good draft pick. I don't know. Down number 1.
Hayden coming back next week. We got Hayden coming back next week.
Hayden does come back next week. We got 2 games that are potentially winnable coming up here. The Bengals and Colts. Down number 1, Atlanta Braves. Season ended on a controversial call Fans threw garbage onto the field, and Chipper Jones' career is over. Goodbye, Chip. Up number 3, the Cleveland Indians hired 2-time World Series champion Terry Francona as manager. Up number 2, Ohio State Buckeyes, after victory over Nebraska, entered the AP top 10 for first time in 2 years. It's been a while. And up number 1, the best week in sports this week was had by Drew Brees. Passed Johnny Unitas for longest consecutive games with a touchdown streak, and I think he's at 49 or 50 now, straight games. I thought he just passed him at 40.
He was at,
was
he
just
47?
passed him this
He
week.
got him to 48 or
I think he's at
48?
He's at 48 now. He broke Johnny Unitas' record. 48 consecutive games with at least one touchdown pass. And the Saints finally got a win. So
Good for them.
good for them. Good for them. Hurricane Katrina was rough. It's still
You know what? That doesn't mean
no,
you get handed
no,
football
we've been
games
over
and
this. You
Super
hand him a
Bowls.
football game. Anyways,
We also want to give a
Whoa.
shout out to Jose Canseco.
Jose Canseco, go ahead,
Yeah,
Hunter.
he has his new blog up. Locker Room Talk is what he calls it. Episode 13 is now available at steroid.com.
All right, and Monday Night Football picks. I pick Houston. Ashley
Really?
picks
Houston.
Steroid.com.
We
Really?
remembered.
Yes.
Yep.
Monday Night Football picks. Stop me if I'm wrong. Von Erich picks Houston. Ashley picks Houston, and I pick Houston.
Sure,
So,
let's go
There
with
we
that.
go.
Houston.
over the Jets. Monday Night Football picks.
Woo!
All
We
right.
got him in.
Now stay tuned for everything in between with your host Von Erich immediately
That's me.
following the show. So that's
That
going to do
one.
it for us this week. Next week,
That
more
one over
MLB
there.
playoffs, NFL Week 6 action, more college football, so much other fun stuff for you.
New segment.
New segment starting next week. Our we got to work on a name. This is going to be like our worst moment of the week. Maybe that's the name. Worst moment of the week. We highlight the very worst moment in all of sports in that week. Worst moment or maybe team. So we're hammering out the bugs. It'll debut next week. So for Chris, for Von Erich, for Ashley, I am Ralphie saying good night, everybody. We will see you next week, same time, same place on MorningShowCentral.com.